What is going on, guys? Matt Downs with Daily Grind Fantasy Sports to help give you the edge for this NBA 9-game slate. Cannot wait to break it down. This video is officially sponsored by Jock Market. If you guys are brand new to this channel, we provide both free and paid content for all daily fantasy sports across all sports. If you could please show your support by hitting that subscribe button, notification bell, and of course smashing that like button for all of our future NBA content. If you would like to know more about becoming a better DFS player and taking down that big GPP, head over to www.patreon.com/DGFantasy for more information. The month just restarted with all of our Patreon subscriptions, so if you want to grab the full value of what we have to offer, head over to that link for only $20 a month. On Patreon, we give advanced cheat sheets for all DFS sports on Draftkings. These cheat sheets include updated projections, ownership, and our overall favorite plays from slate to slate. We take it a step further by teaching you how to play fantasy sports like a shark, by showing you where the best leverage spots are to put you in the best spots to take down tourneys. Also included is our private Discord chat where you get to talk over the slate with everyone, including our coaches, to help build your lineups. Now let's go ahead and dive right into this NBA 9-game slate, but first you guys know we have to go over some Patreon success, and we had so much last night. I had to pick through all my 5 favorite pictures here to include on this video because we had multiple takedowns. I think last night was one of the most profitable nights we had overall as a community, so let me just go through a couple pictures here. We had a $200 takedown in the showdown contest using our projections. We had another takedown. This guy mini-maxed $75, turned it into $546, won $1,100 overall. We had another close takedown, got a third place finish here, $12 into $150. And then we also had some success over here in Jock Market. If you guys haven't signed up for Jock Market, head down to the link below here, enter the code DGF20 and sign up for Jock Market today because we are now providing content for that as well. Took James Harden in the 5th spot, got all the way up to 1st, and then Terence Ross, I believe, started around the 40th mark, got all the way up to the 15th, did fantastic, and here in $26 on Terence Ross and $17 on James Harden. And then last but not least, we got a 9th place finish here, $1,250 overall for that player, and a 9th place finish in a GPP. All right, now let's focus on this 9-game slate. I don't think it's going to be as crazy as last night, but it's still going to be crazy. We have a lot of pending injury news. We have a lot of solidified injury news. Let's go through the injury report right now. With Toronto, we have the exact same injury news here as last night. Harris, Anobi, Flynn, McCall, Siakam, and Van Vliet, their 2 superstars, are still out. So we're going to have to be paying attention to the Toronto Raptors. This is going to be a slight pace down spot for them because we know Boston plays at a slower pace. For Boston, we have Marcus Smart and Langford out. With the Clippers and Washington, we have Kawhi Leonard, who is questionable. That will impact the slate dramatically because this is a very high over-under right now. It's the 2nd highest on the slate. Any team that's playing against Washington, we're going to want to target. Right now, Kawhi Leonard, like I said, is questionable, but Morris is officially out, and same thing with Patterson. So we will kind of evaluate this team based on what-if scenarios a little bit later on in the video. With Washington, Ish Smith is out. With Detroit, we have pending injury news on Jeremy Grant, Josh Jackson, Blake Griffin, Hayes, Okafor, and Wright are out. So another team that we're going to be focusing on, this spread in general is only 5 points, and the over-under is very, very low. New York, D-Rose is expected to be back tonight, but he's still technically questionable. If he is ruled out, then yes, we're going to have a ton of interest here in New York as well. Taj Gibson, Payton, and Robinson are still out. With Denver, we have Campazzo, Green, Hampton, Harris, Howard, and Millsap officially out for these guys. So yes, we're going to be honing in on Denver just a tad here. With Indiana, we have LeVert and Warren officially out. With Milwaukee, nothing really going on there. With Memphis, we have Grayson Allen and Jackson out. Miami, Jimmy Butler and Adebayo are both questionable. That will definitely impact things because this is going to be a pace-up spot here against New Orleans. With New Orleans, nothing going on there. With OKC, we have Ariza, Diallo, and Hill officially out for them. With San Antonio, LaMarcus Aldridge is questionable. Rudy Gay, Vassell, and White are out. Doesn't really impact the San Antonio picture too much because the prices are adjusted upward for this team. And then with Golden State, Kelly Oubre was a late scratch last night, and he looks to be out again tonight against Phoenix. So we will be paying attention to the Golden State Warriors. With Phoenix, nothing going on there. And then last but not least, the highest over-under on the slate here, Sacramento versus Portland. We know these guys play no defense whatsoever. here. So with Sacramento, we still have Halliburton, Whiteside, and Woodard out, and then with Portland, the exact same injuries that we're used to here. Collins, Giles, McCollum, and Nurkic out. So let's translate that over to the slate. Let's start out with this Toronto game against Boston. Again, we have a new format in all of our videos where we just talk about the cash plays and then we talk about GPP plays a little bit later on instead of going game by game. So we're going to start out with Toronto. Like I said, they are without a slew of injuries here. Norman Powell does benefit the most when you take those guys off the court. Norman Powell was one of our community core picks last night, and I think he's going to be a very popular pick tonight again because he still has the highest usage rate on the team at a 31.9% usage rate and a 1.17 fantasy point per minute boost. So when you take a look at that, 7K price tag does make sense. He's projected to play 37 minutes, so we have him pinned here at 43.29 points and a 6.2 point per dollar value. Another player I do like that benefits is Terence Davis. Yes, he did not do too well last night. 0.96 fantasy points per minute still, and he is only 3.7K, so projected in 23 minutes, a 6 point per dollar value. I do like him in terms of value. Bembry, also not that bad of a value play, 3.8K, projected to play 28 minutes, so a lot more minutes than Terence Davis. He only averages 0.78 fantasy points per minute with these guys off the court, though, so not that productive of a player, but the amount of minutes, I can tag him as a useful value play. Some other players that are very noteworthy. Kyle Lowry is going to be a popular one, still 8.4K. Didn't have the greatest game last game, almost at value. Projected at 37 minutes, a 5.2 point per dollar value. And then Boucher still averaging 1.3 fantasy points per minute. The only hesitation I have is his minutes. Only played 25 last game. He's projected to play 27 tonight, so you can expect him to play about 27 minutes. His minutes always scare me, but still very productive when he's in the game, so don't mind him as well. Let's go down to the Denver Nuggets. They are still benefiting without a list of injuries here. Starting with just Jokic. Jokic had a 10.9K price tag, and whatever matchup, I don't care what it is, he is a fantastic play at this point with all these injuries off the court. Averaging 1.77 fantasy points per minute, a 5.8 point per dollar value, even at this price tag. Absolutely love Jokic in all formats. I think he's a safe play at this point in the season, and I think he has high upside as well. So Michael Porter Jr. at 6.8K, still averaging 1.23 fantasy points per minute with these guys off the court, so I don't mind him. We have him projected for 38.76 fantasy points and a 5.7 point per dollar value. And then last but not least, Will Barton, 5.5K, still averages not that great of a fantasy point per minute. He averages, let me find him here, Will Barton, 0.86 fantasy points per minute, so not the best, but still projected to play 35 minutes. We always love a heavy amount of minutes benefiting without injuries here, for cash at least. Going over to the Clippers here. The Clippers are the big team we have to keep our eye on because Kawhi Leonard is questionable. Yes, if he is held out, load the heck up on the Clippers because they will all benefit usage-wise. Right now, they're projecting him to actually play, and I still like Serge Ibaka. And if he does play, I like Kawhi Leonard himself, only at a 9.1K price tag. We love targeting teams against the Washington Wizards, but Serge Ibaka catches my eye, especially without Marcus Morris off the court. 27 projected minutes, a 4.8K price tag. He averages 1.08 fantasy points per minute here without the current injuries off the court. So I do like Serge Ibaka for cash. I love Kawhi Leonard if he plays. If he is held out, you can literally load up on these guys. I made Paul George the thumbnail because if Kawhi Leonard is held out, Paul George is going to get a significant boost in usage and also fantasy points per minute. And I'm not exaggerating, this entire team is going to be cash viable if Kawhi Leonard is held out. So target this team for cash. High over under right now, they're projected to score 121 points. If Kawhi Leonard is held out, that will drop a little bit, but again, it's just a very high paced matchup and a great matchup for the Clippers overall. All right, let's move over to the Golden State Warriors. When you take Kelly Oubre off the court, I literally just want to talk about one guy here. It's going to be Steph Curry. Steph Curry averages 1.77 fantasy points per minute with Kelly Oubre off the court. Fantastic projection is what we have him at right now. 58.14 points against the Phoenix Suns. Yes, it's a slight pace down spot, but it's a superstar without Kelly Oubre, a 5.8 point per dollar value. Absolutely love him as a pay-up option. And now we'll hear a quick word from our sponsor.
Jock Market is one of the most innovative ways to play daily fantasy sports today. Just like the real stock market, Jock Market allows you to buy and sell players to earn profit based on their performances throughout the day and night. They are currently offering a variety of sports where you can enter their markets and buy them for potential gains. Unlike normal other DFS sites, once the slate starts, you can make numerous changes to your stocks by buying new players you think will continue to perform well or sell players you think are going to underperform.
Right now, they are running every sport with overlay, which gives you an easier chance to win than other major DFS platforms. Download Jock Market now on the App Store and use code DGF to receive a $20 deposit bonus. Be sure to subscribe here for all future Jock Market content. All right, now let's switch over to my favorite GPP plays on the slate. Let's go to the very last game on the slate. No surprise here. The highest over-under on the entire slate. You can take a stab at any one of these guys there without Halliburton, Whiteside, and Parker. So these guys do get a slight boost in usage across the board, specifically with De'Aaron Fox. 8.9K price tag. Definitely love him at 36 minutes. A high-paced matchup. Rashawn Holmes at a 6.4K price tag is going to show very low ownership. And same thing with Buddy Hield. Buddy Hield's actually been shooting pretty well as of late. Scored 46.5 points in his last matchup, 51 points in his last matchup. So definitely don't mind him for a GPP option, especially if he's going to keep shooting over the 33% I think he averages on the season or something stupid like that. But yeah, I do like Buddy Hield. I like Rashawn Holmes. I like Fox. You can load up on Barnes. Barnes is another player that plays heavy minutes. So I love just targeting the Kings in general in this high-paced matchup for low ownership. Switching over to the other side of the ball, I don't think Damian Lillard will be that low owned, but I do think he's still going to get overlooked just with the matchup. A 10.7K price tag does look expensive on the surface. He still averages 1.43 fantasy points per minute with the current injuries off the court. I love taking a stab at him. Canner, 7.4K price tag, definitely going to go overlooked in a soft matchup versus the Kings. Covington, Hood, and Gary Trent are all very good plays because we love taking shooters and high-paced matchups. Last but not least, I want to talk about the Washington Wizards. They're just a team that always gets overlooked, and the price tags are coming up on their superstars. So Bradley Beal is going to be very, very low owned. Same thing with Russell Westbrook in a high-paced matchup. Going to be a fan of both of these guys in terms of GPPs. And that will end my video, guys. Hopefully you did enjoy this video. If you did, please do hit that subscription button, notification bell, and of course smash that like button for all of our future NBA content. With all that being said, have a great rest of your day, and let's cash.